All right, guys, got some big breaking news for you here yet again. So I just learned that one of Elon's little pilled up 23-year-olds who work for Doge, the non-government agency, um, they have now officially accessed the Department of Energy. And the reason why this is particularly terrifying is because the Department of Energy houses our nuclear weapons information. So, they say in the CNN article that dropped a couple hours ago, the title is Trump Energy Secretary allowed 23-year-old Doge representative to access IT systems over objections from general counsel. So they go on to explain that this guy, the 23-year-old SpaceX intern, has zero clearance, zero background check. Members of the general counsel and chief information offices said, quote, "This is a bad idea." Because the guy hadn't had a standard background check, of course he has zero authority to be in there. As you know, basically everything Elon and Doge have done since Trump has gotten elected is wildly illegal. I mean, I've described this a million times, but the way it works for spending is Congress has the power of the purse, the House passes something, the Senate passes it too. If the president signs it, it becomes law. There is no like, hey, let's get in on the back end and axe programs we don't like or payments we don't like. That effectively would give the Treasury Department the ability to usurp Congress and usurp the president. That's not a thing. None of that is a thing. And this is what's been going on with Elon since they decided to go into the Treasury. And by the way, they also set up a private server in there. Okay, that has access to all of our information, y'all. That has everybody's social security number, everybody's bank account number. Like, this is beyond egregious. So they do go on to explain in this article from CNN, but to be honest with you, I'm not sure I'm buying it. Where they say, oh, this kid got some like general access, but he didn't have access to everything. And so technically, like the nuclear weapon stuff, he doesn't have access to. But number one, I don't know if I believe it, because everything they've done is wildly illegal so far. Number two, even what he was granted access to is insane, right? Like a random 23-year-old intern who Elon Musk likes gets to hack into the energy department. And again, that department has our nuclear weapons control and information. I mean, it's got to be, right now, it's got to be a Chinese spy's wet dream in Washington, D.C., with all of these different agencies that are being hacked. There's, of course, the USAID stuff where, they cut off funding to USAID. And that, of course, as I pointed out, was wildly illegal. Just to put that in perspective to you, here's some of the things that are now frozen. The illegal freezing of USAID means they shut down malaria treatment for children under 5, a device to prevent HIV infection, a method to treat cervical cancer, support for pregnant women to reduce malnutrition, and tuberculosis treatment for children. That's all according to the New York Times article on that. So, I mean, what is there even to say at this point? Crystal, I saw earlier they hacked into Medicare, right? Didn't they hack into Medicare as well?
Yeah, yes, and they have their sights set on the Social Security payment system next.
And they also hacked into the Department of Labor, but the union sued. And then I think there already was a court decision that said, y'all got to stop that. But like, it's up in the air. I don't know if they're still in there or not. It's like, and then the other fear is, okay, I can guarantee you all of the courts are going to say the same thing. All of the courts are going to be like, you have no right to do this. But then how do we know that they won't just ignore it, right? And be like, agree to disagree. Because the fact of the matter is, even if Elon was arrested, which he should be, Trump would probably pardon him immediately anyway, right? And so is this the state of affairs now? That Congress can be usurped, the president himself can be usurped, the spending on the back end that they don't like, they could freeze. Article came out earlier today. The Head Start programs, the other day was the Head Start programs in Washington totally frozen. Today I think it was Rhode Island, right, Twitter? right? Twitter, right? Crystal?
Yes.
I don't know why Twitter came to my mind. It's late, guys. You got to give me. I'm tired. It was Rhode Island that the Head Start
And
programs.
it may have been more than Rhode Island too. There's a bunch of Head Start programs that are frozen. There's a bunch of EPA programs that are frozen, even though they're supposed to be unfrozen.
And USA, like we said,
yeah,
it's now verified that they basically just shut it down, right?
Yeah, I also saw there's like, I don't know, 20,000 tons of food that's supposed to go, like, it's bought from farmers in the US and sent to different places that are, don't have enough food around the world, and it's just sitting rotting at a port in Houston. Yeah.
And then this is to say nothing about the right-wing full-court misinformation press that's happening right now, because they're trying to like sell the idea of Doge being good. So they're just flat out lying about stuff that, they say the money goes to, right? The moral panic earlier today was, oh my God, U.S. aid funds Politico. And it's like, they have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. Any money that went to Politico was literally across the entire government, the gigantic government we have. And it's just them getting Politico Pro subscriptions to get the news, right? Like they said Ben Stiller got paid $4 million to meet with Zelensky. That's a lie, utterly made up, right? They're just like, I'm just in awe of their ability to whip people up into a frenzy over completely fake news. But there's enough of that shit out there now where it permeates the minds of the right-wingers where they feel like, oh, everything Elon's doing is great. Everything Doge is doing is great. It's like, oh my God, we just live on two different fucking planets. But look, you got to ask yourself this very simple question. This one should be easy to answer, right? Should a 23-year-old with no security clearance whatsoever, who happens to be like an intern that Elon Musk likes, are you comfortable with that person being able to illegally access the Department of Energy, which again includes our nuclear information? That should not, if you're not the biggest partisan hack in the world or the biggest Elon simp in the world, that should be the most obvious answer of all time, right? So enough. Enough, wrap it up, bro. Wrap it up. Between that and the immigrants being sent to Gitmo and the fucking Gaza stuff, I just can't. I also talked about this just a little while ago, but we now have verification that there's a middle school teacher in Miami-Dade who was detained by ICE and is likely going to be deported. Middle school teacher who's a dreamer. And just so you know what dreamer means is they were brought here as a child, usually a very young child, by their parents who were undocumented immigrants, right? And what do you do with somebody who was brought here when they were like 2 or 3 years old, and all they know is America, right? But technically they're undocumented because their parents were undocumented. So here we have somebody, law-abiding citizen, good person, middle school teacher, right? ICE detain them. Like, what are we doing? What is this? This is at the same time Trump pardons 1,500 January 6ers, including cop assaulters, and now also we know multiple sex criminals, right? Multiple, including pedophiles. So, Jesus Christ. Not good news to say the least.